So this is rental car number 40, and today I'm driving the 2017 Ford Expedition Limited EL. This is a big, and I mean really big, four-door SUV. It seats 8, 2 in the front, 3 comfortably in the middle, and 3 fairly comfortably in the back. This model has the standard 20-inch polished aluminum wheels on it. And it has the ruby red paint color, which I was kind of surprised to find out actually costs an additional $395 when you buy it from Ford. But I think it might be worth it. I kind of like this color. The critics have also liked this car quite a bit. Edmunds gave it a perfect 5 out of 5. Cars.com did the same with a perfect 5 out of 5, and Car and Driver came in at 4.5 out of 5. Safety-wise, this car has also done pretty well. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has given it some decent scores. An overall 5 out of 5 score. Frontal crash rating is 5 out of 5. Side crash rating is 5 out of 5. The only bad score is rollover, where it got a 3 out of 5. Engine-wise, you get a 3.6-liter V6 engine with Ford's EcoBoost technology. That pumps out about 365 horsepower and gets you 15 miles per gallon in the city and 20 on the highway. Towing capacity-wise, you also get 6,600 pounds, which is pretty good. This one does come with a trailer hitch, so you can take full advantage of that right off the lot. Fuel-wise, you get a 34-gallon tank and Ford's Easy Fuel system where there's no twist-off cap. You just open the lid, stick in the fuel pump, and you're ready to go. Alright, so that's all those technical details. Let's jump in the front seat and kind of take a look at all the technology and bells and whistles that you get with the Ford Expedition. This is a pretty big car, but Ford has done a nice job of sort of setting all the controls within reach of the driver, and nothing feels too cramped or spread out. It's all designed really nicely. Now the key fob is a little bit light for my taste, but it does have a nice sort of feel to it in the hand. It's nice and long. You get plenty of buttons on there to interact with all the important elements, lock, unlock, and opening up the trunk automatically. You also get a remote start feature, which is the 2X you see at the very top of the remote. The Expedition also has a push button start, which I was pretty impressed with. Everything boots up within, I'd say, about 4 seconds, which is a lot quicker than most of the cars I've been renting nowadays. The steering wheel is pretty big, and I guess it should be for such a large vehicle. My only sort of criticism here is that the buttons are on the interior of the steering wheel, so it is a little bit difficult to reach while you're driving the car. They're not the highest quality buttons either. They do feel just a little bit cheap, but everything works as it should. Above the steering wheel, you get a nice gauge cluster with 2 separate screens, one on the left and one on the right, that you can use to view all kinds of details about the car and see what's on your entertainment system. To the right of the steering wheel, right on top of the dash, you get these really nice storage areas right here. There's 3 of them sort of scattered around. I found this to be really convenient. I threw my toll pass up here, I kept some change and some other odds and ends, and I really took advantage of this kind of space. Below that area is the touchscreen. It's a really decent size, and the colors are nice and crisp and bright. Ford has also done a great job organizing all the features here. So you have some dedicated touchscreen buttons on the bottom that help you navigate really quickly to all the features that you want to get to. This same system is on most of Ford's cars. I've used it a bunch, and it's definitely one of my favorites. Below the touchscreen, you get the climate controls. These are, well, they're just okay. You do get standard buttons to control all the important things, with nice big twist dials to control the temperature. I guess my criticism here is that there's no digital readout to tell you exactly what temperature the car is, so you have to sort of look up at the touchscreen to figure out how hot or cold the car is. Also, there's only these push buttons to control the fan. They're behind the gear shift, so it's kind of a pain in the butt to reach while you're driving the car. And then below the climate controls, you do get this nice area to store your cell phone. I mean, it's a general storage area, but that's mainly what I used it for. It's a perfect size and pretty easy to reach from the driver's seat. Moving a little bit further right, I'm kind of disappointed at the size of this glove box. It's pretty tiny. Considering how large this car is, I was really hoping for something big and cavernous here, but I was a little disappointed. Maybe that's just me. I get a little excited when it comes to glove boxes. When it comes to the center console, this one's pretty nice. It's a decent size, so you're not going to lose all your stuff when you put them in here. And you get some nice modular units in here to store change and odds and ends, along with this nice bag, which not really sure what I'd use it for, but it's nice to see Ford trying something new. And then you do get hookups for USB and a power adapter. I mentioned before that this car did pretty well with safety ratings, but I'm personally a little bit disappointed at the lack of technology when it comes to safety. You do get a rear view video system to help you back up the car, but there's no forward collision warning, there's no lane departure warning, and there's no blindside detection, which is all a huge minus in my book. But enough negativity. Let's jump in the back so you can really get a feel for just how large this car is. There's 3 seats in the middle row. They're all really big and very comfortable. I sat in all of them, and I didn't have legroom issues in any of the seats, even the middle one. Also, in the center console that's used for the armrest for the 2 people in the front, you do get your own individual climate controls, along with an actual 3-prong power port right here at the bottom, where it says AC 100 volt. Super convenient, great for your passengers, and I love that there's dedicated climate controls back here as well. The Expedition does have a real third row, and I mean by that is adults can actually use it. To access it, you do have to collapse the middle row seat, but that's not very difficult. You just pull up on one lever and it collapses forward, and then I found it pretty easy to get into the back. I'm about 6 feet tall. I had plenty of leg room back here. It wasn't difficult getting in and out because the roof of the cabin is just so high. I guess what I'm trying to say here is it's a real third row seat that you can actually use, which is great. Another great feature is the amount of cargo room you have in the back. This is with the third row collapsed, and you can just kind of get a feel for how big this space is. I think you could use this for all kinds of things. Thankfully, there are electronic controls to control the third row seat, so you can collapse or raise them with just a touch of a button. It's a little bit slow, but not annoyingly so. It is important to mention that the headrests are not controlled electronically, so you will have to adjust those manually, but not a big deal. On the flip side, you do get 2 nice modular storage units back here, one for your jack and odds and ends, and then the second one towards the front, let me see if I can get a good shot of it, that has some pretty decent space where you can store quite a bit of items underneath the floor. And then finally, there is an electronic control in the back to close the door automatically. Doesn't have a lot of good sensors though. I sort of stood in the way accidentally once and got bumped on the head pretty hard. And I think I mentioned this earlier, but this model does come with a trailer hitch. You can see it right here, and it does not have dual exhaust. You just get a singular muffler on the back. All right, let me close things out by just talking about how this car drives. It's big, so you're not going to do any corners at high speeds, but it's pretty comfortable to drive. I kind of took this thing for a spin through kind of a complicated shopping area, trying to go through all the corners, and I had no problem. I also drove it for over 300 miles on the highway, and it's super comfortable. You're so high up that you don't feel any bumps, and because you get a nice size V6, you're able to accelerate and keep up with traffic pretty easily. All in all, this is a pretty nice, big SUV. So after spending about 2 days with it, I'm going to give this one 4 stars. This is a great, big SUV. If you're in the market for something like this, I definitely recommend taking this out for a spin. I'm just not going to give it 5 stars because it lacks so much of the standard safety technology that I want for my cars. And I think with a big car like this, you just need those features if you're going to drive safely. Alright, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time when I review my 41st rental car.